The Fighting Wildcats got a dub against Arkansas. Did a tremendous job. Look, this is Mark Stoops going to what he needs to go to win football games. And that, at the end of the day, is what it's about. We see Lynn Bowden here getting in the end zone, using his legs, his athleticism. He threw a touchdown. And, gee, what about Arkansas not generating any offensive firepower? That was supposed to be Chad Morris's niche.
Yeah, they're struggling for sure.
My best comes from Kentucky, Arkansas. Kentucky's gone through it with the quarterback position this year. Now turning to wide receiver Lynn Bowden, who is an absolute athlete, taking that one in, 24 yards for the touchdown to lead his team to the win. Again, wide receiver playing quarterback, y'all.
Okay, excited to get back. Playing games. Going to go to Arkansas, an SEC road game. Talking about a team that the last two games they had really good opportunities to win. They're playing extremely hard. I think that is a tribute to their coaching staff. We're expecting to get their best. Offensively, they have some young playmakers that can really do some things with the ball once they get it in their hands. Defensively, they flat got after us last year. I think 225 total yards, less than 100 yards rushing. Our special teams defense played really good. And so they got a lot of those guys back. Their defense coordinator is one of the best in the business. Cameron Curl, a defensive back, leading them in tackles, very good player that was there last year. Dejon Harris played very well against us last year. And then McTelvin Ajim is one of the best defensive linemen in our league. So they definitely have our attention. Our guys, we had a solid practice Sunday. Today will just be a base down practice. I expect our guys to be ready. And really our focus has been that, the things that we need to correct, we need to keep improving, to correct the things that the mistakes we made in the first half. And so that's our focus. Like I said, going on the road in the SEC, looking forward to playing Arkansas. Whether it's running game, whether it's pass game, we have to create explosive plays. And when we do that, we're a good offense. When we don't, we're average. And so that's been an emphasis, not just run game, but passing game or however you get them. And so hopefully that'll continue. We did a solid job of that up until our last game, and we need to get back to explosive plays. I think anytime you've got a playmaker like him, especially you have an off week, you have ways to get your playmakers the ball. We have some other playmakers too. It wasn't really just him. I mean, we've got to give some certain guys certain chances, and that was kind of part of the evaluation over the off week. But Swartz is a dynamic guy with the ball in his hands, and need to figure out ways. And we kind of talked about that last week too. But yeah, we'll have a good plan moving forward. Not just him, but our guys that are capable of making explosive plays. We're not going to go to Arkansas with one of the best tailbacks in our league. I mean, I just think that's the reality of the thing. But we do have confidence in our other guys, and we got confidence in our offensive line. And, what we've been talking about is opportunity.
Down on the Plains, Gus Malzahn's Tigers bye week to lick their wounds after falling to the Gators in Gainesville back in Week 6. Tigers find themselves still ranked pretty high, 11th in the polls, and trying to regroup as they get ready for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Hey, Gus, how in the world do you regroup after a bye week?
It really comes down to execution and just basic football 101. And so we really just tried to go back to that, not just up front, but all areas. And a lot of times when you do that, you can really slow down. You can start to improve. Because like I said before, when you're in the heat of everything, you got a game and a game and a game, you start having to scheme up, and you got to work on their different pressures and their different looks. Well, when you have an off week, you can sit there and work on you. And that's really what we did, and just slowed down and worked on the basics. And I really look for that group to improve. Now, we need to continue to stay healthy. We've been pretty fortunate.
All right, gentlemen, what do you think of the schedule going forward, Jordan?
I look at that LSU game because I think Auburn as well struggled with getting Bo Nix consistent throws, and LSU can cover on the back end. That's going to be – I'm circling that one.
Yeah, and by that time, too, everybody will be healthy on that defense, getting pressure on Bo Nix. Hopefully they've been a lot of blitz pickup here in the last
Yeah. I was going to say, look, 3 teams still ranked in the top 10 on the rest of their schedule. On our rundown for our show, right, it says we're supposed to talk about how Lynn Bowden's pretty good right now. That's erroneous. He was great against Arkansas. Not good, right? 274 total yards of offense. And my goodness, boys, wide receiver turned quarterback really was the catalyst for the Cats' 24-20 comeback win there in Lexington. And remember, Bowden Jr. attended the same high school as Maurice Clarett and Mario Banningham. He tore it up back as a dual threat quarterback at Warren G. Harding. How about Warren G? Is that where Warren G. got his name from? I like that.
Well, it's obviously frustrating to come back in here and you know, after we keep putting ourselves in position to win games and we're not stringing things together to finish it, and that's our job as coaches. We've got to get our guys to do a better job of executing, making things clear for our guys so they can just go out and play and be able to execute in those key moments. Our guys want to win. We want to win for them, or we want it for them. I will say this, they're playing extremely hard. They're giving great effort, and that's encouraging. They're giving us everything they got. And as I said earlier, we keep putting ourselves in position to win. And now we got to take steps into finding ways to finish it and to come away with those wins. And that's on us as coaches. But the only thing we can do is keep our head down and go back to work. I'm looking forward to the great challenge this week of playing a very talented Auburn team coming to town. Excited to get back home in front of our fans. Hog walk in the morning. We've got a lot of recruits on campus. It's going to be great to get back home. I do appreciate our fans that traveled to Kentucky, and I know they're as frustrated as with the outcome as we are, but we're not going to flinch, and we're going to put our head down, and we're going to go back to work. Guys play extremely hard, but they tackle well. Offensively, you know, starting Bo, and we knew what Bo was coming out of high school, just a great talented quarterback. He's a freshman. But he's doing a great job of running the offense as you know, Coach Malzahn is asking him to do. He's being effective running the football. They want to run the football. That's what they have always built on. With losing a running back is you know, they've got a couple other guys behind him that are just as talented. Whitlow definitely is a great spark for him, but. You know, Cam Martin's another one that's got speed to burn. I mean, these guys got some great speed. You know, coming off an open week, there's going to be a few things I'm sure that we haven't seen, but our guys are looking forward to the opportunity, and you could tell that last night as we came back in.
And a game that, I don't know, many people are curious about. Let's head there right now and be joined by Alyssa Lang on the call for Auburn and Arkansas. Alyssa, thank you very much for being with us. And we just heard from Gus Malzahn. This is his home state. He sounds a little anxious about going back.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting matchup when you look at these two teams. Arkansas is one of those teams in the SEC that maybe it's easy to not take them seriously when you look at their record, but when you really watch back some of their games, Texas A&M, Kentucky from last week, they're very much in these games until the final minutes, just a couple of plays away from getting a couple of big conference wins. Auburn, on the other hand, of course, they've been off for about a week or so coming off of that loss against Florida. We're very curious to see what kind of Auburn team will be able to come out tomorrow, especially missing their starting running back Boobie Whitlow. And I think one of the most interesting things about Auburn going into this game is there's 5 running backs listed on the depth chart, 4 oars next to each of their names. So we're not sure exactly who we're going to see tomorrow, but I think it'll definitely set the tone for what the Auburn Tigers running game will look like as we look into the next couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, and Alyssa, I've spoken to some Auburn fans who are worried about Whitlow's absence because he was such a key cog. I know you're on the ground there talking to both sides. You alluded to it, but how big of a factor could that be?
Yeah, I mean, it could be absolutely a huge factor. You look at Arkansas, and they're able to run the ball extremely well with their running back, Raheem Boyd. He leads the SEC in rushing yards right now. Looking across the other side at Auburn, obviously losing Boobie Whitlow. We're going to have a chance to catch up with the Auburn coaching staff here in a couple of minutes. We haven't gotten to meet with them yet, and just getting an idea of what they hope the running game to look like over the next several weeks. I think they're going to have a lot of answers tomorrow as they see which guy's able to step up in a game-like atmosphere. Obviously, you know that they've been battling out in practice, but there's nothing like a game time way to figure out who's going to be able to lead that rushing attack. And of course, you look at Bo Nix as well. He's been certainly capable on the ground game, but Boobie Whitlow, obviously a huge part of that offense. Somebody's definitely going to have to step up there.
Alyssa, it just seems like every time I talk to Coach Morris and visit out there, as you are right now, they remain pretty upbeat about the future. I know that's difficult when you still haven't won a conference game. Explain that to those who don't follow Arkansas football very closely.
Yeah, there's still a ton of energy in the building. Being able to talk to some of the guys today, they're very upbeat. And I think the thing to focus on, and this is what Chad Morris told us, was that last year they were really not in the position to be able to win games very often. This year, like I said earlier, they've been a couple of plays away. The guys can see that progress. Obviously, it hasn't been much progress in the win-loss column yet, but they really do feel like they're just a couple of plays away. The offense being, a couple of good series away from it, being able to put a couple of these games away. So it's easy for them to see the progress that they've been able to make week in and week out. But they obviously understand it's a process as well. And Chad Morris has been through this before. He talked about being back at Clemson when they weren't on top of the college football scene, especially over at SMU, having a couple of key wins to be able to put that program where it then went under Chad Morris. He said, it's a similar feeling here. Yeah, our backs are in the corner, but we're not backing down every single day. We're going out there and we're making sure we stay in the fight. And I think we've seen that a lot from this Arkansas team, especially looking back at some of those last several games. Again, A&M, Kentucky, they were in it till the end. It's just a lot about execution down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us are still in shock about that A&M game. They had a shot at the end of the game, and I know it's hard to have confidence when you lose games, but is it Chad Morris's personality? Well, what do you think it is that has kept this program moving forward?
He talked to us a little bit about making sure their facility and the building is a safe haven. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're Arkansas, if you're Alabama, if you're Auburn. If you're losing, fans aren't happy, the environment around you isn't happy, and it's hard to keep 18 to 22-year-old kids upbeat and ready to come put in 100% every single day. And they've been able to do that. They've been able to keep that football facility a place of positivity and being able to remind these guys, hey, this is what we're working towards. It's going to take time, but you're a part of something here. You're able to help take this team from what it was last year to hopefully being able to progress and move into the next couple of seasons and turn Arkansas back into this winning football team. You look at this team on both sides of the ball, and there's plenty of talent. They've got two good quarterbacks, maybe haven't played as well as we were hoping to see them so far this season, but I think within each game we've seen each position group really take a step forward. You've got a group of young wide receivers who have looked pretty incredible. Cheyenne O'Grady, I think, has been in almost every highlight reel for Arkansas this year. So they've got those pieces. It's just a matter of putting it together. They have the confidence. They still have that chip on their shoulder that they want to come out and play Arkansas football. They want to win football games. There's no sense of a balloon deflating around here. They're not giving up on the season. They're ready to fight, and they think if they can get a win over this Auburn team tomorrow, that could be the catalyst for the rest of their season.
Arkansas heading back home, but it won't be with comfort in Fayetteville. They've got 11th ranked Auburn paying a visit. Going to be a tough one for the Razorbacks to break a 14-game conference losing streak dating back to 2017. Arkansas, Auburn, noon on the SEC Network. To Fayetteville we go as we bring in Dabo Swinney, who will be on the call of Arkansas. It's Matt Stinchcomb. I'm sorry. That's not a Clemson pullover you're rocking? You set the record straight here. From here, it certainly looks like it.
Parkview football. Parkview High School football, and it's the Battle of Lilburn this week, so I had to represent my home team.
All right.
I can't help it that we've got good-looking colors in high school.
Yeah.
In high school only.
Okay.
I should emphasize.
All right, Dabs, you got it. Let's look at Auburn's quarterback here. Yes, it was 2 weeks ago, but it was his last game. He threw 3 interceptions. He hadn't thrown a pick in his 4 previous games. What's the status of that Auburn coaching staff surrounding maybe the mentality of Bo Nix going on the road here?
Well, they certainly want him to be more reminiscent of what they saw from Bo Nix, even in the opener, right, versus Oregon, on the road, not necessarily a home environment. Protect the football, make plays. That's the balance that quarterbacks have to strike, regardless of how long they've been playing at the collegiate level. But any coach will tell you at this point in time, 6 games into the season, you're halfway through the year, you're not a freshman anymore. You have to start making good decisions. You have to protect the football. Many coaches will tell you, and it's true, more quarterbacks lose games than win them. You don't want to be one of those guys. Protect the football, let your defense play, and give yourself a chance to win.
Yeah, it would help him if Booby Whitlow was back there to hand the football to, but he won't be. How will that impact what War Eagle would like to do?
Well, what you're talking about is an offense that has been incredibly run heavy, and part of that's a function of avoiding plays like we saw from Auburn versus Florida. Don't put the ball in jeopardy. Well, the easiest way to do that is in the passing attack. Auburn has been very, very run-centric. They've been capable of doing that because of the contributions of a running back like Booby Whitlow. Without him in the lineup, knowing that Nix, yes, can run, do they lean on whom next? Will it be Cam Martin to see his role expand? We'll find that out tomorrow, because you look at the depth chart that Auburn issued, and it's nothing but a bunch of ors when you look at who's going to be starting at running back. It's going to be this guy, or maybe this guy, or maybe this other guy. It just, I think, defines the void that was created without Booby Whitlow being available.
All right, Stinch. Arkansas has not won a conference game in the year plus under Chad Morris. What do they want to see? What should we all be looking for in this game Saturday that tells us things are going in the right direction?
Well, I think the thing that Chad Morris wants to talk about and has preached to his team is that they've at least been in some competitive games. Last year, they weren't even competitive. They were getting run away from time and time again. But the last 2 outings, when you look at Kentucky, a one-possession football game. You look at the A&M game, a one-possession football game. There are opportunities for Arkansas to win games. The issue has been they haven't capitalized upon them. What they're looking for is consistency, and especially at the quarterback position. Who is going to take the first steps for the Razorbacks tomorrow offensively? Is it going to be Ben Hicks? Will it be Nick Starkel? They need stability at that position, and they haven't had it since Chad Morris has been here.
Speaking of 1 and 2, there's still a team in the West that could play spoiler with how well they play on defense, but I need to see this offense be more explosive through the pass game and more efficient. When you watch film, they got to give Bo Nix some shorter options to get the ball out of his hands.
No doubt. And we got coaches versus former schools. Malzahn, Muschamp playing the school he coached, and Jeremy Pruitt played at Alabama, coached at Alabama, and now tries to beat Alabama.
Jordan discussed that game in Fayetteville as Auburn comes a-calling. Let's head to Alyssa Lang, who's in Fayetteville. Alyssa?
Guys, a ton of storylines on both sides of the ball for this one. As far as the Auburn Tigers go, they're looking forward to getting that bad taste out of their mouths from a couple weeks ago, that loss to the Florida Gators. They're coming off a bye week. Freshman quarterback Bo Nix had a great week of practice. Gus Malzahn said he's happy about where his head is. He's mentally very clear and ready to finish out the rest of the season. As far as Arkansas goes, we've seen Nick Starkel and Ben Hicks both make a start at quarterback for the Razorbacks. They're looking for a guy who'll be able to give the offense a spark, and that's the one who they'll go with today. A game-time decision for Arkansas.
Ben Hicks is getting ready as the Arkansas Razorbacks host Auburn today, Tim.
Tell you what, he needs to have a big one, because that Auburn defense is for real.
They just need consistency. They want to run the football, but they got to get consistent at the quarterback position.
Yeah, they're probably Auburn's definitely tired of hearing about Alabama. Bo Nix getting ready.
Yeah, I want to see a bounce back from Bo. How can you bounce back? He showed us a lot against Mississippi State, showed us a lot in the last drive against Oregon. Florida, not so much. How can he bounce back against Arkansas?
Here we see Rakeem Boyd. It's been a tough year for Arkansas. What is success for them today?
Running the football, but in order to do that, you got to have some kind of balance throwing the football, and that's been the missing factor.
And coming up at noon on the SEC Network, Bo Nix and Auburn, freshman quarterback, continuing to have some growing pains. Sometimes taking on the Razorbacks might help that a little bit. Gus has had great success back in his home state, and he is back there again.
Warming up in Fayetteville as Auburn comes to town.
I wonder what his game plan is now, because he got rid of the Bieber shirt, and it didn't quite pan out the way he thought it would last week.
Yeah, but you can't blame Justin on that, you know?
No, it's not Justin's fault.
Put it on Justin.
Paul, you have a Bieber shirt.
I got a
fan club
Rocky
member?
Marciano shirt.
You stole that from me?
I did.
I know a guy who has one of those. Tim's guy, Bo Nix, extremely impressive this season. His last outing, of course, they lose.
I just feel like when he went to Gainesville, he's a little bit shell-shocked.
Yeah.
But I think that he can rally back. I think this kid's his makeup is just a little bit different. We saw that in the end of the Oregon game. We saw it against Mississippi State. And he needs to really bounce back for that last performance.
And he needs this run game to get going for him so he can be comfortable and not asked to do too much out of his
He had
skills.
no support in Gainesville.
No.
Zero.
Cam Martin's got to get going. Booby's got to get going. Excuse me, he won't get going. But
Yeah.
Cam will get going.
He also needs flash. Anthony Schwartz.
Yes, that's...
Get him the rock. Jet sweeps, toss him the ball, swings, and then let's take shots to him. I would try to give him the ball 12 times a game.
And at this point, their defense is so good behind Derek Brown and all of those guys. Here's Derek right here. How about that for a segue? That wasn't even planned.
No, but that's what you do, Marty. That's why we love you.
I know we don't, game manager is almost a slight, but that's truly all Bo Nix needs to do.
No, he's got to do more than that.
Does he?
Yeah.
Explain to me why.
Not in this game.
Not in this game, but in the season against the big boys when he plays LSU and when he has to play Alabama, he's got to do more than just that, even though they got a great defense.
But that's the thing. If he just doesn't make critical mistakes.
Yes. Their defense is that good.
Yes.
Woo. That's a good defense, man.
Big boy.
That's a big boy.
Athletic.
Oh, this is in Fayetteville. DJ Williams is ready to go down in Fayetteville, Jordan.
It's tough after a bye. I mean, Auburn may come out slow, but they're the better team, so I expect them to get it rolling early.
I like it when they're in the all whites, though.
Yes,
it's clean.
When they changed that stripe on the top of the helmet, it changed everything.
Woo!
KJ Britt and the Auburn Tigers, they're ready to get it.
It's a great game for Auburn to get things going on offense. Their defense can play with anybody in this league, Alabama and LSU. They can keep it close. But this offense needs this game to take a big step.
And I think try some new things offensively.
Yes.
Be able to continue to develop their playbook.
That game right after us here on SEC Nation. Last time out, Auburn loses. They're in Fayetteville today. Who you got?
I got Auburn big. I just don't think Arkansas has really figured out the quarterback position. Rakeem Boyd's a heck of a player, but they're not balanced enough on offense. That defense is going to eat their lunch.
Not enough talent for Arkansas. I'm going Auburn.
Yeah, no, Auburn wants to get rid of this game quickly so they can get to Baton Rouge and try to settle some scores.
We talk all the time about how Jake Fromm's makeup allows him to flush a loss. You're real high on Bo Nix' makeup. Will he be able to flush it?
I think Bo Nix flushes it. I think they try to take more shots and they figure out not just what they've been so far in the year, but what they can be, because they got to develop offensively to win the games they want to win against LSU, against Alabama, and possibly in a playoff. So I think they really work on trying to find the intermediate and deep passing game.
And you know what's going to help with that? Anytime a young quarterback plays on this type of stage, and he stepped on a big stage early against Oregon in this year, you never have time to breathe. You're always looking for the next game. Well, as a true freshman, the most important thing is to take a breath and then evaluate yourself.
Yes.
So in this time off, he's evaluated himself as much as this game plan for Arkansas. He's going to be better for it.
No doubt.
Saw out in each of the last 3 contests, winning by at least 31 points each time. Of course, everybody remembers what happened 4 years ago. Last time the Razorbacks won in quadruple overtime. Vivian Warren and Nathan Parody are back deep as Anders Carlson kicks us off. And the Razorbacks will start at the 25-yard line. They've been going back and forth with starting quarterbacks stripping Ben Hicks of the football, and then Bo Nix takes over twice with his arm, once with his legs. Tigers on top. How quickly Auburn has moved down the field twice. This time it's the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Sean Shivers. In Athens last week, and now Muschamp beating his old team, the Florida Gators, where he once coached. Out of the backfield, the catch is made by Devois Whaley, and he's past the original line of scrimmage for 11.
Steve Spurrier, alternating snaps.
Gatewood with a Tebow-like roll. Arkansas floods the box. Gatewood, no chance! Tripped up by Joe Fouché.
Pulling the left guard, so Marquell Harrell's going to come around here, but look at all these bodies. They've got numbers, and they flood that side, and look at great job by Fouché to get upfield quickly. And Auburn losing yards, tackling the big man down low. Tigers were going right back to where they attempted the previous run.
Nix to Sean Shivers, who had that second touchdown run. He's bottled up after a short gain.
So Auburn's going to jump the football and try to rattle a playoff.
And very quickly, it's Nix. We've seen Shivers, we've seen Miller. This is Cam Martin. And Martin gets nothing as Micah Smith was there on the tackle.
And then forcing a field goal, maybe a chance to get something going.
Hicks on a tunnel. And there's your first down, and it's a pass out of the backfield to Raheem Boyd for 16 yards.
Here in Fayetteville. D-Mac, thanks so much for joining us. What's it like being able to come back here and hang out with your Razorback family?
You know, growing up an Arkansas kid, it's one of the things I want to do in my life is go to the University of Arkansas and play ball for them. And anytime I can come back here and support them and show love to them, I always enjoy it.
What's it like to think about your name in the College Football Hall of Fame?
Man, it's still unbelievable. There's been so many great guys who come to the NCAA football and play NCAA football. Just to be honored amongst some of those guys, man. I'm going in with a great class also. It's just an unbelievable moment for me. And I'm just very thankful for it.
What's your favorite memory from being back here playing for Arkansas?
I definitely say when we beat LSU, they were #1 in the country in triple overtime. That's one of my best memories from here. And then, playing South Carolina and rushing with 321 yards, that's another one, But I always got to go with the LSU one, man. That's my favorite one. #1 in the country, and nobody gave us a chance to win.
Just a couple of pretty good memories. D-Mac, thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Not happy. That was a near interception.
Nix goes down.
Well, when you get on this side of the field, John Chavis, since I was playing, likes to go to jam or the bear defense, double eagle, and then run the mic through the A-gap.
Slings one sidearm to Cheyenne O'Grady. Get the ball in his hands. That's O'Grady under center, first down Arkansas.
He was split out wide, 4 wide receivers to the left, and you see him kind of gearing it down. How about that? Whatever it takes. You try to draw him off, you call timeout, let Cheyenne O'Grady get your first down.
For Whaley. Carries Tigers to the 45-yard line. 3-yard pickup for Whaley. Hicks, quick throw, and catch made by Tyson Morris. One of the best defenses in the country in the Auburn Tigers. 2nd and 15. Swing to Boyd, and Rakeem gets out past the 40. On 3rd down, pass is caught by Traylon Burks, and that is the first 3rd down conversion. Come after Hicks here, catch made at the 30 by the true freshman Trey Knox. It's 19 yards and a Razorbacks first down. Welcome back to SEC Network College Football, presented by Allstate. The number 11 Auburn Tigers shutting out Arkansas through 2 quarters, 17-0.
To that penalty, but to start the half with a delay of game.
Hicks, quick throw. It's Schwartz past the original sticks. It'll be 2nd down. Team Boyd next to him. At his own 13-yard line, tosses it to Boyd, and Rakeem with a burst of speed gets past the first down. Whaley, first down run, a little outside as he gets up to the 37.
In the box, they're also physical in their secondary.
Hicks, high throw, but caught. Traylon Burks somehow made that catch. First down Razorbacks.
Those just big old hands. They're the size of tennis rackets. Look, he just juggled it to himself. Tips that pass from well behind him.
Hicks out of the backfield to Boyd, and Rakeem's inside the 35. First down Razorbacks. Back to the studio with Peter Burns.
Especially challenging.
Short throw. It's Burks. And he'll get inside the 45, and here comes a late flag.
And they're incapable of connecting.
Limpert missed from 44, this from 28, and the Razorbacks are finally on the board. All over the Hogs as the true freshman Bo Nix with the longest play of the day. Caught by Seth Williams, and the Tigers are up 21.
Over and give up yet another big offensive play.
Nix, end zone again, Schwartz, got it! Can Arkansas gain any momentum to go to the ground, and Rakeem Boyd, first down. It's night and day. 2nd and 3, Hicks finds O'Grady, wide open again. You just can't get this guy to the ground.
Get all the oars out there on the field. We had them all listed.
Nix loses the ball. Did it stay in bounds for Sosa Agim? At least the initial indication is yes, as Bumper Poole tried to keep that football in bounds.
A little Scooter Harris that was able to generate the pressure and then pop this football out. Watch him, it was his right hand that came around. Nix was running, the ball was loose. Watch Bumper Poole. And then McTelvin Agim right there to make the play. How about that?
With TJ Hammonds running to the top of the screen. Hicks has plenty of time. Perfect ball to O'Grady. He almost coughs it up, stays in bounds, touchdown.
You open with an empty backfield set. Here's Cheyenne O'Grady. Who's around here? Nobody. Watch O'Grady. Get over the middle. He's one-on-one with KJ Britt. He wins. Gets upfield, almost loses the football, makes 2 receptions on 1 play. Yards per reception.
TJ Williams met by Scooter Harris. Seth Williams with another touchdown catch. And the NCAA record is 304, 37-10. 9 minutes to go with Williams stopped in the backfield. That's Hayden Henry. The Arkansas Razorbacks, Joey Gatewood getting into the action. Tigers up big in Fayetteville. Imagine a game being so big that it's moved from October to the end of the regular season. Number 1 Texas against number 2 Arkansas. It pulled a 52.1 share on TV. Half the televisions in the nation tuned in.
Unreal.
To that football game as Malik Miller carries the ball the 3rd time this year. And the defense dominates. 9 tackles for loss. Broke up 8 passes, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, forcing 4 turnovers. And the Arkansas man, Gus Malzahn, hugs his dear friend Chad Morris. (51-10) the final today as Auburn improves to 6-1. Arkansas falls to 2-5. Gus Malzahn on the field with Alyssa.
Bo Nix, Auburn coming off the bye week. They look sharp here, fakes the handoff, takes it in himself.
Opening drive, Marlon Davidson, their defensive end, gets a sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery trifecta to set up that touchdown run.
And then Nix here, nice little toss to Seth Williams.
Bo Nix, 3 touchdown passes in this game, first time in his career, as Arkansas now lost 15 straight SEC.
Hadn't been good for them, 51-10 to beat down over Arkansas. Little, what were you thinking? You want to see the worst fake punt in the history of college football? What was that?
Why the chest pass is my question. Why don't you
this.
throw it like a normal
What is that?
Who designed that?
What?
And I'm going to jump in the air.
Lost their last 14 conference games as Auburn comes to visit. Darren McFadden two-time runner-up in the Heisman Trophy race. He'll be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in December. He was honored, as he should always be, frankly, in Fayetteville. First possession of the game, 3rd and 6. Ben Hicks, the starting quarterback strip. Marlon Davidson got it. Auburn football.
Auburn's defense got after it. Arkansas's first 5 possessions, 3 3-and-outs and 2 turnovers.
You see life without Boobie Whitlow. Out with an injury. How do they establish a running game creatively like they typically would have to do, right? Anthony Schwartz, quick hitter there later in the drive. Bo Nix keeps, outruns, touchdown Auburn.
Yeah, let's not forget Bo Nix can run the football, particularly in the red zone. They love to use him because he doesn't take the big hits.
Cam Martin. Look at Cam break through for a gain of 52 down to the 11.
Yeah, and this is one of the ways that Auburn manufactured a run game today. I thought Gus did a really good job of getting some perimeter runs in there with Schwartz, with Martin, and again, mixing in a little bit of the quarterback run as well.
Look who gets in here. Other receiver. Sean Shivers takes the handoff from Joey Gatewood, who was in the game there in the red zone. First half, Auburn 25 rushes, 125 yards, 14-0 score. Second quarter. Auburn punting. That is one of the worst fake punt attempts in the history of sport. Chandler Wooten picks it off.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but there's probably a reason. It's not very good.
That you've never seen it before? Yeah. It was really bad. Nix to Seth Williams, touchdown. Auburn up 24-3. Ensuing drive, Hicks going to try to go deep. Hicks picked.
Yeah, I think Chad's got some decisions to make again. You know, it seems like we're on musical chairs with the quarterbacks again. You know, Hicks starting today. Is it Starkle? Is it Hicks?
Well, I know who it shouldn't be. The punter, Sam Lloyd. Auburn keeping the momentum. Schwartz, 28 yards on the creative run play.
You know, last game out against Florida, Schwartz touched the ball 1 time. Today it was a concerted effort to get Schwartz the football. 8 touches for him between catches and runs, over 100 yards. This guy's an impact player that needs to have the ball in his hands more often.
Nix to Schwartz with a touchdown. Bo Nix threw 3 touchdowns, did not throw an interception in an Auburn road route.
Extremely happy for our players. Really appreciate our fans making the trip. Our guys came out ready to play right off the bat. 11 o'clock kick and everything that goes with it. Our defense played outstanding. Offensively, got off to a good start, kind of fizzled there in the second quarter. Give them credit. And then, of course, in the second half, offensively, we were able to run the football. We hit a couple explosive pass plays that kind of opened everything up. And just overall, real happy for our players, coming off a loss, off week. Our guys were hungry, and they put the game away in the second half.
I can tell you this, there's a group of young men in that locker room over there that are going to stay in the fight, and there's no quit in us. And, there's only one thing to do, and that's go back to work. And I know everybody's just frustrated that we're not having the success that we all want to have, that everybody wants to have. And there's the only thing to do is for us to go back to work and keep pushing forward. Keep developing the guys on our roster, keep recruiting. That's it.
He's going to preach patience. For Arkansas fans to be patient, they're going to have to feel that they have a reason for optimism, and rather soon, right? Do they have a reason for optimism right now?
Well, I think you have to be patient. Again, we talked about it time and time again. When you switch from the offense that Brett Bielema was running to now what Chad Morris is doing, it takes a complete roster overhaul. Now, the good thing that I see in terms of why there should be patience, they were 23rd, their 2019 recruiting class, 23rd in the country, and that was after an abysmal season last year. So Chad Morris has inroads in Texas. He's going down there, bringing some players in. They've got another good recruiting class they're putting together. He needs time. To fire a guy after a year and a half or 2 years is just unrealistic, and sits yourself into a system where you're constantly looking for the next guy.
I mean, in fact, nobody's saying he should be fired. Like, we're not at that
I understand
point
that.
now, but are we seeing signs that this offense, that this team, this program is going in a positive direction? I don't even think they thought they beat Auburn. I just didn't see 51-10, and I don't think they did either.
Right, because I think, Dory, the thing is inconsistencies, okay? Let's go back to September. They lost to San Jose State. Then they turn around and play A&M, playing pretty good, playing to a 4-point game, right? Then all of a sudden they turn around and lose to Kentucky, who's playing with, oh, by the way, a wide receiver at quarterback, right? And then today you get beat by 41. So it seems like every time they take a step forward, they take 2 or 3 steps back. So to give hope, you got to see more consistency. What do we see in the quarterback play? It's musical chairs. Right. Who's going to start next week? So look, I don't know what the answer is. I'm not there every day, but I know this. To give a fan base and people hope, you got to have consistency, and that's what they're just not getting anywhere. Offense, defense, anywhere right now.
Yeah, this was a tough one. It gets easier next week. They go to Alabama.
Ouch.